Pay off your debt or invest your money. Worrying about financial debt? You are not alone with that burden. Household non-real estate debt has reached its highest level nationally since 2008. Mortgage debt is up somewhat from its low point towards the conclusion of the Great Recession in 2009. Paying off debt is typically challenging and considerably more stressful in an unpredictable economic environment. An example would be the COVID-19 pandemic. We never really saw it coming, and the economy has been dramatically impacted by it. But when you find yourself having the extra cash lying around, you might ask yourself, should I use the money to pay off or at least considerably pay down that pile of debt that has increased over time? Or is it better to put that money to work in investments that will grow for the future? The answer to that question is either of the two. To pay off your debt or invest your money, either of them can be a wise decision to make. However, everyone's situation is different, but here are a few things to consider that can help you make the decision that's right for you. Hi, if you are new here, welcome to Finance Bureau, your go-to handbook for anything related to personal finances. Welcome back everybody, I hope you enjoyed my previous video. So for this video's topic, it will be a walkthrough on making the best decision for your situation, to pay off your debt or invest your money. So before I get into it, give this video a thumbs up and let's dive right in. What's the difference between investing versus debt repayment? Before we go ahead, you should know the key difference between investing and debt repayment. When you invest, you are putting money away for the future, preferably in a mechanism for investment, such as stocks, bonds, or mutual funds that will increase in value over time. Investing is a means of achieving this goal. On the other hand, debt is money that you have already spent and for which a creditor or lender is charging you interest. This money is referred to as spent money. If you don't make any payments toward that debt, it will continue to accumulate interest charges, further increasing the total amount owed while also resulting in further interest charges on its own. Either way, both are important goals to prioritize on. When do you pay off debt or invest? In pondering whether you should pay off debt or invest, the answer is that you should do both. The usual rule of thumb is that you should make payments on your debts as well as invest in the future. Make it a priority to make regular deposits in the top 3 savings funds. One for paying off debt, one for retirement, and one for an emergency. Even if this means that you can only contribute $10 or $20 per paycheck every month to savings or retirement in addition to paying off debt, it is still something you should do since it is beneficial in the long run. In reality, it's not a case of either or, to prioritize saving for retirement or paying off debt. Here's the thing, if you commit fully to investing and simply make only minimum payments on your debt, you might spend too much on interest over time. This can hinder your future capacity to purchase a house or have a family. On the other hand, you run the risk of not having enough money saved for retirement if you don't invest at all. So it's a matter of making wise decisions and responsibly managing your finances enough to do both, pay off your debt or invest your money. A well-rounded solution allows one to fulfill the needs of the now while also making plans for the future. The demands of today and your ambitions for the future are achievable through a wealth management strategy that involves a balanced approach. For some people, this can entail paying off part of their debt while saving for the future. Your individual needs and life history will make you a particular case. However, here are some of the general factors that you should consider before making a major decision. First, check on debt interest rates. If you have debt with high-interest credit cards, you should prioritize paying off that debt first. The interest rates on credit cards are so high that it's impossible to ever come out ahead. It's much better to set yourself on a plan to pay off your credit card debt and exercise as much self-control as possible. However, the interest rates on some types of debt, such as student loans and mortgages, tend to be lower than average. Regarding these types of debts, you do not need to be as proactive as you are with high-interest debts. When dealing with a high interest rate, it's okay to make aggressive payments towards that debt to free up money for investment. But never forgo retirement contributions altogether. You want to start making contributions to your retirement account as soon as possible, because the money you put in will generate interest, which then earns more interest as time progresses. This process is known as compounding. Another tip in deciding which debts to pay off first, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission suggests giving priority to those with interest rates of 8% or more and no tax benefits. Second is to consider your debt amount. When determining how to handle debts, it is also vital to consider your credit use rate. When you have a lot of debt, your credit score drops. You will have to pay higher interest rates the next time you need to borrow money if you don't keep your credit card use under control. If you can only make the minimum payment on all your debts and your card amount is more than 25% of your authorized credit limit, you should take a step back and reevaluate your finances. There are many ways in which your life may become simpler if you strive to reduce your credit card utilization rate and boost your credit score. The third thing you must also think about is your time until you retire. It's best to avoid taking any debt into retirement at all costs, but certain obligations are worse than others. As you near the end of your working life, it is never recommended to give up on retirement savings in favor of paying off debt. Another thing is that you may need to work longer, reduce your spending, or make catch-up contributions beyond age 50 if you are not close to your retirement savings goal. Are you enjoying so far or learning anything valuable? Let me know in the comment section. So going back to the video, there are also ways to consider that can help you make that decision that's right for you. First of all, you must start evaluating your budget. Managing day-to-day costs like rent, electricity, transit, and food may be challenging. If you can afford them without costing a fortune, then you should feel quite proud of yourself. Now comes the hard part, settling on a plan for all that spare coin. Splurges are good for you in moderation, but spending too much money on them might sabotage your plans. Budgeting is crucial whether you want to get out of debt, start investing, or do both. Spend some time keeping careful tabs on your cash flow. Next is to start saving for an emergency fund. This channel also emphasizes the importance of such a fund. You should always have some kind of emergency fund set up before putting money towards debt or investing. Inevitable disasters like auto repairs, medical expenses, and loss of employment may drain this fund quickly. It is more possible that your debt won't increase due to unexpected expenses if you save money in advance, even if it's only $1,000 or $2,000. In the case of high interest debt, it may be wise to settle for a little lower figure until the burden of that debt has been relieved. Try building up enough money to cover your bills for the next 3 to 6 months. Don't pass up the opportunity on your company's retirement plan matches. Consider the company's retirement plan before committing to significant debt repayment or investment strategy changes. The contributions you make to your 401k or 403b may be matched by your employer, which means you get the money for nothing. If you don't take advantage of this benefit, it's the same as giving up money. So do it now so you can concentrate on other things later. As I've mentioned before, you must prioritize paying off high interest debt before investing. Do not feel ashamed if you are currently working to pay off debt. The majority of Americans have some kind of consumer debt. Still, not all debt is created equal. You may get a federal student loan for a rate of 5.5%, which is far lower than the 16.99% to 23.91% you'll pay on credit card debt. The compounding interest on high-interest credit card debt makes it more difficult to eliminate the debt. You might save hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in interest if you take care of it first. The best part is that it might free up money for your investment plan or emergency fund. In focusing on debts, you should also remember that investing matters. Understanding the fundamentals of investing is essential before delving into the nitty-gritty. Long-term investments provide more room for development, but also more possibility for loss. Investing in stocks, for instance, may increase your wealth through dividend payments and/or a rise in stock value. Start investing early. Reinvesting returns and maintaining diversification are three main approaches that you can consider to take full advantage of long-term investing. Unfortunately, younger generations do not share their parents' enthusiasm for investment. Recent Gallup data shows that among those under the age of 35, 37% are stock market investors, down from 52% before the crisis of 2008. The stock market is a natural source of anxiety. Given that, it's safe to say that nobody can say what the future holds. If you don't start investing early in your career, you lose out on many opportunities to expand your money. It's also advisable to work with a financial advisor to create an investment strategy if you can afford one. If you want to know more about investing, feel free to check out my other videos on this channel. Lastly, in debating whether you should pay off your debt or invest, you should consider your feelings too. It's not always numbers and statistics. If you're well versed in numbers, you'll quickly see the potential of investing. It's possible that your frequent little payments may build into a sizable sum. If you do the math, you'll realize that investing is the better option than using debt as a stepping stone to financial freedom. It's not always wise to prioritize paying off low-interest debt if you have hopes of increasing your income in other areas. Yet calculations disregard your emotional investment and risk tolerance. The burden of debt may be pretty stressful. There's no shame in tackling your debt faster if it's what's keeping you up at night. Your mental well-being is priceless. In the end, you get to choose if you want to pay off debt or invest your money. Either use is better than simply spending it. Whichever course you take, you'll be in a better financial situation than you were in before. What do you think? Do you have recommendations of your own? Please feel free to share your thoughts and discuss in the comment section below. But always remember to be nice to each other and respect the opinions of others. That's it for today's video. I hope you had a good time and learned something new. Before you go, I'd appreciate it if you leave us a like and subscribe to our channel for more content on personal finances. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one.